Hey everybody, Douglas Scott McCarron. This may be a long one, I don't know. I've been kind of intrigued by this whole reaction to Kirk, Charlie Kirk being shot. He's kind of like a martyr to some people and an expression of how they think America should be, and other people are like poo-pooing it all and everything. For me, well, my mom killed herself and I found her, and to me, Charlie Kirk just kind of occurs as another person who was wrapped up in their beliefs and now they're dead, which is kind of what's going to happen to all of us. You know, we have this. There's some part of us, we get brought up with. Oh, there's a motorcycle going by. Well, we'll see what that does to the idea here. Um, there's this tendency to get very caught up in one's own opinions of what the truth is, and very normal human thing. He had some assumptions that seemed to be, for lack of a better term, kind of right wing. And a lot of left wingers are kind of tearing him down. But, a lot of left wingers are all caught up in their assumptions. And right wingers mock them and tear them down. And it just seems to be what a lot of humans do. Well, at least people on television. When I talk to my friends, it seems to be people are a lot calmer about all that, and they don't denigrate each other. But there's this one channel. It's this guy who is apparently, I'm gathering, right winger, because he keeps talking about those dumb liberal woke people who doesn't buy the idea that a 30-06 was used, and apparently he was a Green Beret or a sniper in the military. And according to him, a 30-06 should have just blown Charlie's head right off his neck. So he doesn't believe that. But it's just interesting to listen to him kind of contradict the Turning Point USA people's description of what's going on, while at the same time saying those stupid liberal woke people. It's like he's kind of decrying both sides. I don't know. It's very interesting. And of course, when the Biden administration was in, it's as soon as the president changes, Trump comes in, all of a sudden Fox is all gushy about the president. And when Obama came in, it was like, oh, he's a horrible communist. He's trying to take over all our rights. And then on the left wing, it's all about, Trump is a fascist and they're trying to overthrow our rights. And, I remember when Ronald Reagan came in and that was said, and Lyndon Johnson came in and was going to do a lot of socialist things. He actually did do some, But now it's like people are trying to go back there because they think that all failed, whereas I look at it and seem to have helped a lot of people. But again, back to this projecting. Charlie Kirk has his beliefs. A bunch of people who agree with him show up. They all listen to each other's thoughts and agree with one another. And people on the outside go, you people are stupid and fascists, blah, blah, blah. And we all just kind of project our truth out there. And the other side does it, and we both talk about the other side and bask in our own beliefs. But, after we have a lifetime of being right and having our opinions and decrying everybody on that side, we then die. And just like Charlie Cook did, just like my mom did, just like I will, just like you will. I'm running around being all about my beliefs, and I'm right, and screw you. It's kind of like whatever that is, that energy. It's like this focus points people. Maybe it comes from being a child. As a young child, you're always thinking in terms of just yourself, and you make your basic assumptions about life, and then those kind of run the background or whatever. But there's always this kind of like, me, I'm the one who sees. I'm the one who sees. That seems to kind of hold on to people a lot. I've noticed as I've gotten older, I'm less self-focused and more broadening. But I've also met people my age who are still me, I'm right. Yesterday I was on the bus and some guy said, talking about the Panama Canal and how we turned it over to the Chinese back 20 years ago. And I'm like, I thought we turned it over to the Panamanians. And I get that the Chinese were showing up and we didn't want them in there, but we didn't turn it over to the Chinese. We also don't want to have Panama have a free market and let whoever's in, because we're demanding they shove the Chinese up. We're all into free markets unless it's South America that we want to dominate. So if it isn't obvious, I'm from the USA, my USA accent. Anyway, this whole me, I've got this out there. We're always looking for this central explanation, this meaning. History is full of that. Libraries are full of. There's tens of bazillions of books and words written about this, and they're all contradicting each other. And this is my theory, and that's what's wrong with your theory. And yet it's this imagination. It's like in our imagination, we sit here and imagine these things and come up with explanations. And that power of imagination just sort of seems to be here with all of us. It goes through all of our life, and at the end of our life, we die. Maybe it goes with us. Maybe we're encased in this whole power. I don't know. But it's always still here holding on to us. What's wrong with me? What's right with me? You should be this way. This is how the world works. No, it isn't. You're wrong. It kind of goes back to me, to Adam and Eve, and they ate from the knowledge of the gods of what is good and evil. That's what we do, and that's why we're cast out. Maybe the idea is to let go of whatever that energy is. Is there really nothing else here except this imagined world? YouTube is full of influencers trying to dictate or influence how you think. You get into your thoughts. Yeah, that's right, or no, that's wrong, or I don't care. Fox News, MSNBC. I always find it funny that people think that's the right and the left, and they're all owned by rich white folks, pretty much, large corporations. So I don't know if they're particularly telling the truth. But kind of getting back to falling off the edge of your belief. That's the only way to me. It seems to me there's anything that one can find that isn't just kind of born to die. We're all born to die. We sit here and struggle to prove we have some great worth, and then we die, and all the people we know that we think are going to remember us will die, and all of our children will die. Yet we seem to have this, I'm the one in the center who knows what's going on. I've talked before about falling off the edge of the world, and you finally end up where the world's cleaned, and there's no thing there. It's just the air, and the air filters off the edge of the table and encapsulates the table and goes up into empty space. Or the old, it's like peeling an onion. People talk about peeling the onion, and you cry and cry, but when you get done peeling the onion, there's no thing there. And you keep getting these descriptions of God. It's not a thing. There's no thing. It's there. It's like infinite space, all these stars. We keep looking at the stars, and in between there's no thing. And maybe that's the place where God lives, is in that. And we're just so trained to look at the things. And then be right about it and make each other wrong, and beat each other up and fight. And yet, people seem to love each other and have their kids and either enjoy or don't enjoy their lives. I was watching a Halloween thing with, like four, Esoterica was kind of hosting it. Dr. Sledge and three other people. And the question was, what do you fear the most? His fear was that there was an afterlife because, it was already enough of a life isn't that much fun while you're here. You just kind of struggle and fight and work your way through and kind of have a go to work and get some food and feed your kids and put some clothes on them and pay the mortgage and, take a shower and make out with the spouse and go to bed and wake up. The idea of then dying and going into an afterlife and there's more of that, or even worse, you get to come back and do it again. That scared him. The idea of having to go through it once was like, oh, okay, I got it. My experience, on the other hand, is having lived this life of dark, mean, vindictive, self-loathing, pissed off, angry, and finally woken up to this very peaceful, calm, deep, loved feeling. That to me seems to have been worth it. So, all these people having celebrations and about Charlie Kirk, what a wonderful man he was, and Charlie Kirk, glad he was shot. You might want to not do that and kind of pay attention to the nothing. Because all of that self is just going to go away. All right. As they say, the death of the self is what brings you life. To be selfless. To die so the deep inner you can wake up. It's interesting, people say that I should talk more like a human. This is what a human talks like to me. I don't know. Anyway, I'm fascinated with it. It's my only life. Or maybe I have been here a bunch of times and I'm finding my way out. I don't know. I just know that I once was a mean, pissed off person and now I'm calm and one. Okay, thank you. Till the next time.